I think it's time to get on with the story. Let's find out what's in the box today. Oh, it's heavy today. Oh. Here we go. Oh. Ah. E. Oh. Ah. E. Oh. Ah. Oh. What's this? What? What? A piece of chalk? A little blackboard. Oh, I know. Seven. This can only mean one thing, my friends. I'm about to tell you the tale of the 7 little kids. I need a drink of water. I need a drink of water desperately. Here we go. Glug, 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 glug. Well, that softens the voice, doesn't it? A nice drop of water. So, this story, The 7 Little Kids, is sometimes known as The 7 Little Kids and the Big Bad Wolf. So, before I start the story, I'd like to discuss with you storybook wolves. What is so wrong with storybook wolves? Why do they misbehave so badly? Well, they don't misbehave so badly, they actually misbehave so well. They behave so badly, why do they do it? They're so naughty, the things they get up to. Real wolves aren't like that. Real wolves are quite sociable. Real wolves, they like to keep themselves to themselves. They don't create mischief like storybook wolves do. Honestly, I think a real wolf would keep well away from human beings. They wouldn't want to eat a human being. They would probably only do that if they were threatened. No, real wolves do occasionally eat a cute little fluffy bunny rabbit. I know, but on the whole, they're pretty well behaved. They're not like storybook wolves. I mean, storybook wolves are just underhand in their behaviour. I guess it's what comes from being called the big bad wolf. Yeah. If they were called the fluffy little wolf, they probably wouldn't act so badly. It's like the king in that story I did a couple of weeks ago. You know, about the king who wanted to touch the moon. He was called King Gimme Gimme Brat Brat. If his parents had just called him Tarquin, I'm sure he would have been fine. So calling the big bad wolf probably means the big bad wolf acts like a big bad wolf. There. That's me trying to rationalise everything. But because there's a big bad wolf in it, I think we need a little announcement from our friend. Yes, I'm coming. Yes, it's me, Beryl. Nice to see you. Now, remember me? I'm Beryl, mild Beryl. Every time things get a little bit scary in these stories, I'll pop up and remind you that there's going to be a little bit of mild peril about to happen, all right? Remember, Beryl means mild peril. So there's going to be just a little bit of spookiness in this story. I hope you don't mind, because we don't want you to get too frightened. So wrap up all cosy in your blankie. Have you got your blankie there? Oh, you've got the pink one, you've got the turquoise one, and you've got the tangerine one. Lovely. Have you got a cup of tea ready, or some warm milk and biscuits? Good. Well, wrap up nicely, and I'll give you a warning when the peril is about to happen. All right. TTFN. Oh, by the way, if anyone's wondering what TTFN actually stands for, it is ta-ta for now. Okay. See you in a little bit. Okay, we had to do that warning. And actually, because the story, my friends, is the 7 little kids, I think it's time to put my Guatemalan goat rearing hat. Yeah, goat rearing, goat handling, goat wrangling. Here we go. There we are. This is what all goat herders should wear. It's even got a bell on it, look. Gives me a bit of a headache though if I wear it too much. So, story time. One more sip of water. Must soften that voice. One day, Mummy Goat was teaching her children at home. Now, Mummy Goat was sometimes called Mama Goat, sometimes she was called Mummy Goat, sometimes she was just called Ma Goat, which is kind of odd because her real name was actually Margot. So Margot, Mummy Margot, the goat, was teaching her 7 kids at home. Now, just for the point of the story, baby goats are really called kids. Yeah, that's why I'm referring to them as kids. That is the real proper name for a baby goat. So it's kind of fortunate as well that we as humans use the goat expression for a child, kid. I mean, can you imagine calling your child piglet or tadpole or leveret? Leveret is a baby hare. Actually, leveret's quite good, isn't it? My kids are all grown up now, but I wish I'd called them leverets. That's quite cool. Anyway, Margot, Mummy Margot, was teaching her 7 kids at home. She always taught them at home. Yeah, they were home-educated children. Yeah. They did all their lessons at home, just like probably some of you are doing, not right now because you're watching the story right now, but like you've been doing all day. She would set them tasks in biology or French or what else? Maths, English. Yeah. They would also do a bit of design technology, some artwork. But when it came to things like sport and PE, they got together with other home ed children and they all played together. Recently, they'd had a rounders match with the 7 dwarfs and won easily, I must say. The 7 children, or the 7 kids, as I really ought to be calling them, were called Clippity, Cloppity, Bippity, Boppity, Flippity, Floppity, and Felicity. And all 7 of them were home educated. Margot Goat, Mummy Margot, was teaching her kids about the big bad wolf. Remember, children, remember the big bad wolf is cunning. He's so cunning. He's as sly as the fox as well. He's as sly as the fox and he's dangerous. Oh, he's so dangerous. He's as quick as a cat. A cat, yes, and he's the master of disguise. Oh, he's like the chameleon, the way he can disguise himself. By the way, don't you think it's rather odd that there aren't any stories about the big bad chameleon? Maybe it's time to write one. I'll just make a note of that. Big bad chameleon. Yes, children, remember they're dangerous. Their voices are rough as a piece of granite, and their paws are dark grey. Yes, dark grey, and they've got big claws on the end of their paws, and they're hungry, and they'll stop at nothing to get their way. And I've heard that there's a terrifying evil monster of a wolf prowling around right now. So be good, children. I'm off to see my cousins. They're just live a couple of villages away. Be good, won't you? I won't be gone long. I'll probably be out all day. Do your homework. And what else did I need to say? Oh yes, that's it. Make sure you shut the door, won't you? Bye. Well, Mummy Margot went off to see her cousins in the next village. And at first, the 7 kids, Clippity Cloppity, Bippity Boppity, Flippity Floppity, and Felicity, were all just a little bit nervous and shaken by that, but then they thought, nah, that'll be fine, and they started to play in the usual way that the kids like to play, bouncing off things, climbing onto the sofa and leaping onto the table, leaping from the chair onto the cupboard, all this sort of thing. Boing, 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 boing. Actually, it was only 6 of them playing, yeah. Clippity, Cloppity, Bippity, Boppity, Flippity and Floppity. Felicity was being a very good girl and was doing her biology homework like she did every Tuesday afternoon. Doing, 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 doing. 6 kids were jumping around the house. All of a sudden, there was a knock at the door. Now Boppity, who is the bold one, put his hands on his hips like this, and he said, "Who's there?" Actually, he sounded more like, "Who's there?" And from the other side of the door, "It's your mother here. Your mother. I've brought some Easter eggs for all of you. I've just been down the shop. It's your mother." "Oh, yippee," said Boppety, and was about to open the door. "No," said Felicity. "Don't open the door, Boppety. How do we know that's our mummy? It's probably the big bad wolf. You know what Mummy said. Big bad wolf is the master of disguise. If it was Mummy, firstly, she wouldn't be using the word mother. Mummy never calls herself mother. And secondly, Mummy's voice is soft and sweet like honey. That voice is rough. It probably is the big bad wolf." "Oh, my goodness me," said Boppety. "Oh, Felicity, you're so right. You're always right. You're always the clever one, aren't you? Yes." And then Boppety said to the person on the other side of the door, "We know you're the big bad wolf. Go away. We don't like you. If you were our mother, you wouldn't be calling yourself mother. You'd be calling yourself Mummy. So there. And Mummy's voice is soft and smooth like honey. So go away. I told him, didn't I?" And then all the others, clippity, cloppity, bippity, flippity, and floppity, said, "Yeah, you told him, Boppety. You told him. You told him that big bad wolf can go away." But Felicity was worried. "Boppety, you really shouldn't have said that. Boppety, you really shouldn't have said that about having a softer voice. You might have given him ideas." "Oh, who cares, Felicity? You're such a worrier. You always do the worrying, don't you? Come on, let's play." But Felicity was right. That was the big bad wolf. And the big bad wolf walked away from the house thinking, "Now how can I soften my voice? How can I soften it? Maybe another drink of water. Maybe that'll work. No, that ain't worked at all. What shall I do? Honey? Nah, don't like honey. What else? What else will make it soft? Milk? Nah, don't like milk. I know. I'll eat some chalk." Well, I don't know what books that the big bad wolf had been reading, why he thought that chalk would soften his voice, but he went down to the quarry, he bought a great big lump of chalk and swallowed it in one go. And that's another thing about storybook wolves, isn't it? They're always greedy. They never savour their food, do they? They never sort of chew gently. No, it's always gulp, down in one go, just like that. Anyway, the big bad wolf swallowed down the chalk and then returned to the house. But before he returned to the house, he just practiced with his voice just to make sure it worked. Now a bit more chalk. Hang on, I can't swallow it in one go. Oh, it's getting there. Hang on. La 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 la. Oh my goodness me! Oh my goodness me! Chalk really does work. What a splendid thing! I feel all operatic now. Oh, maybe I could market this and sell it to singers. Chalk. I'll call it just chalk. Get in tune with your inner wolf. Perfect. So, once he'd perfected his voice, he knocked on the door. And, of course, all 7 of them were playing. Actually, no, all 6 of them were playing. 6 of them, clippity, cloppity, bippity, boppity, flippity and floppity, were all playing Twister, while Felicity was practicing her yoga. "Who's there?" said Flippity. It's your mother. It's Mummy. I've got some delicious milkshakes for you." "Oh, yippee," said Flippity, and was about to open the door. "We love milkshakes." "No," said Felicity. "Don't open the door. How do we know it's Mummy? How do we know it could be the big bad wolf? Remember what Mummy said? The big bad wolf is the master of disguise. Ask her to show us the milkshake." Now you would think, wouldn't you, that the sensible thing would be ask her, if it's Mummy, to show her face at the window. But I must point out, The window, that means window universally, the window was high right up the top of the house, much too high for Mummy Goat, Margot, to show her face, but just about high enough to show her hoof. "Okay," said Flippity. Yes, I think it was Flippity who spoke before. "Okay, if you're our mummy, show us the milkshakes you've bought." Well, the wolf, the big bad wolf, wasn't stupid. He had actually bought some milkshake, but he had drunk it on the way there. So he held up the empty carton at the window. Banana milkshake. "Ha!" said Felicity. "That's not Mummy. Mummy knows that we don't like banana milkshake. We like chocolate and strawberry. And besides, look at that paw. That's not Mummy's hoof. No, that's a dark grey paw holding that milkshake, and it's got claws on it. That's the big bad wolf." So Flippity shouted at the big bad wolf on the other side of the door. "Ha! We know you're not our mummy, because our mummy has got a white paw. Actually, she's a goat, so she doesn't even have a paw. She's got a white hoof, and she knows we don't like banana milkshake. You're the big bad wolf. You can go away. Mmm." And all the others joined in. "Yeah, go away, go away, go away." And then Felicity said, "You shouldn't have said that about having a white hoof. You might give him ideas." "Oh, Felicity," said Flippity, "you're always such the worry guts, aren't you? Come on, let's play." But Felicity was right. The wolf went away from the house thinking, I wonder, how can I make my paw and my claws look more like a goat's hoof? Shall I use paper mache? Yes, that's a good idea. Also, you'll probably notice the big bad wolf's voice had the ability now to go between being the rough voice and the smooth operatic chalk-lined voice. But just while he's thinking to himself, he thinks in the rough voice. "Yeah, now how shall I make my paw more like a goat's hoof? I could use paper mache, but that's going to take much too long to dry in this sort of weather. I could use plasticine. Oh, but I don't like the smell, and it's all very sticky, isn't it? It's a bit too colourful, plasticine as well, a bit too hard as well. I know what? I'll stick some dough on there. Yeah, big lump of dough, bish bash bosh. That'll work really, really well." So I know it's kind of a weird idea, and I don't know what books this big bad wolf had been reading, but dough's not such a bad idea, is it? So he went to the baker's. "Oi, Mrs. Baker, give us some dough. I've hurt me hand." Now, I know that's a really weird thing to request, isn't it? I mean, can you imagine going along to a doctor and saying to the doctor, "Oh, doctor, I've really, really hurt my arm. I've really hurt my arm. Will you stick some dough on it?" The medical knowledge at that time, the time of this story, was really quite poor. But also, can you imagine the doctor saying, "Oh yeah, good idea. I'm about to bake a loaf of bread. I've got some dough ready. Here you are. Let me wrap you up." But anyway, there was the big bad wolf asking for dough in the baker's. Well, the baker, Mrs. Baker, was very, very scared of the big bad wolf because just recently the big bad wolf had actually eaten the baker's mother. Yeah, grandmother, let's say. So she was rather scared. "Oh, and while you're at it," said the big bad wolf, "while you've got the dough on there, will you sprinkle some white flour on there?" Weird, thought Mrs. Baker, but did it all the same. La-di-da-di-da-da-da. Put some flour all over the sticky dough. Excuse me, I've just got a rather itchy nose. It's all that flour, the thought of flour. Achoo! That's better. So, the wolf then went back to his house and quickly constructed a cardboard hoof to stick on the end of it. And he was quite pleased with his little cardboard dough, flour, sort of hoof-like construction. "This works rather well," he thinks. "This works rather well." And he ran off, or rather stumbled on 3 legs, keeping this one off the ground because he didn't want it to get dirty, all the way back to the goat's house. He knocked on the door. "Hello, it's your mother. Well, at this point, the 7 little kids were all practicing kid yoga. No, they weren't. Kid Jenga. That was a Felicity who does the yoga. They were doing kid Jenga. Yes. One on top of the others. Actually, it was only 6 of them. Clippity cloppity, bippity boppity, flippity and floppity were all on top of each other, while Felicity was in the very back in the kitchen making flapjacks for everyone. Hello, it's your mother. I'm here. Look, it's me. And he, the big bad wolf, held up her paw at the window like this. Oh, yippee! It really is, Mummy, said Floppity, and opened the door. Now, here, things get serious. Hold on. Right, now listen. It's going to get just a little bit scary here, okay? Take a deep breath. Don't worry. It's just a story, and I'm sure it'll have a happy ending. But just for now, here we go. The door's open, and in comes the wolf. All right, TTFN, see you later. The wolf rushed into the house, slathering chops, wild eyes. Run for your lives, said the little goats. Run for your lives. And snatch, bite, yum, all 6 of them down in his tum. Yum, yummy, yum, yum, yum. And off waddled the big bad wolf out of the house. Hang on, did I say 6? 6 went down into his tum. Don't I mean 7? No, I don't. You see, Felicity, the one who'd been baking flapjacks in the kitchen in the back, she'd hid herself in the pantry. The pantry, by the way, is a place where people put their food. It's not a place... Oh, hang on, where's the bell gone? Oh, it's gone right round there. A pantry is not a place where you put your pants. No, it's where you put your food. And she'd locked herself in. Well, the big bad wolf, he had just gulped these 6 kids down in one go. Told you they're greedy. Down in one go, and straight away, hic! Just like the wolf in Little Red Riding Hood, hic! He got the hiccups really badly this time. Hic! 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 And when you've eaten so much in one go, oh, it does make you feel so drowsy. Oh, my goodness me. So with his great big bulging tummy and his hiccuping and his yawning, he waddled his way away from the goat's house, and he sat under a tree, and straight away he fell asleep. Well, Mummy Margot came back very soon after that, and when she saw the door slightly ajar, slightly open, her heart skipped a beat. But when she went inside and she saw the mess, the ripped sofa, the torn curtains, the upside-down chairs, the table that had been moved all over the place, the scratched wallpaper, she thought, oh, yet another typical homemade day. But hang on, something's missing. Where are my kids? Where are my children? Clippity, cloppity, bippity, boppity, flippity, floppity, Felicity, where are you? And just a single voice came from the pantry. Mummy? Mummy? Is that you? Are you my mummy? And Mummy Margot rushed to the pantry, opened the door, and there was Felicity. Oh, Felicity, what have you done? What have I done? Where are your sisters? And Felicity explained about the terror, the wolf had come in, the dough, the chalk, the flour, the Easter eggs, the milkshake, the whole thing, coming in and snapping the jaws and swallowing up her 6 sisters in one go. Well, they're not all sisters, some are brothers, but 6 siblings in one go. And Felicity and Mummy Margot, they burst into tears. Meh! 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 And then Mummy Margot saw red. She was furious. She was going to take revenge on the big bad wolf. Oh, he's eaten my 6 delightful kids. He's going to pay for this. And she went stomping out of her house looking for the big bad wolf. Well, it didn't take her long. She very soon found the big bad wolf. In fact, she heard him first, snoozing. Hick! Snore. Hick! Snore. Hick! Under a tree. And she was about to butt him with her huge, sharp horns when she saw his tummy wobbling about like this. And his tummy was huge, great and wobbly. Not as big and as wobbly as the Oni in the story I did yesterday in Granny Dumpling. Not as big as that, but slightly big and slightly bumpy. And the bumps were sort of moving about. And Mummy Margot thought, I wonder. All goats have beards, by the way. Even the women goats have beards. I wonder. Felicity, be a good girl and go and fetch my sewing kit. Get the scissors and the needle and thread, and we'll see if we can do something about this horrible big bad wolf. Well, Felicity bounded off back to the house to get the haberdashery goods. That's the sewing stuff. And in the meantime, Mummy Margot collected 6 large rocks. 6 large rocks, which was pretty difficult when you've just got horns. She shoved them along like that. And the wolf, I have to say, the wolf was a very, very heavy sleeper. He hadn't heard anything at all. He was probably dreaming about the next bunch of kids he was going to eat. Anyway, she came back with the sewing kit, and Mummy Margot took the scissors and snip, 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 opened up the wolf's tummy. And if you think about it, snipping when you've got hooves, holding scissors, pretty tricky, but let's not go there. And inside, still alive, yippee, were Clippity Cloppity, Bippity Boppity, Flippity and Floppy, all covered in a bit of a horrible mucus-like slime. But they were so happy to see their mummy. Oh, mummy, you came back. Oh, mummy, we were so scared. Oh, mummy, why aren't we sensible like Felicity? Oh, well, never mind. Let's go boinging around this field. And they were so happy they jumped and jumped and jumped around like that while Mummy Margot started to stitch up the wolf's tummy. Oh no, she didn't. She put in the 6 rocks first. That's what I should have said. Put in the 6 rocks. Again, tricky when you've got hooves. And then stitched up the wolf's tummy like that. And then the 7 little kids did the weirdest, oddest sort of ceremonial dance around the wolf. Hey-oo, 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 hey-oo. And then they hid behind bushes and trees. Eventually, the big bad wolf woke up. And he felt really incredibly dry, so thirsty. What on earth have I eaten? And he went to stand up, and straight away his stomach just hit the floor. And he tried to walk, and his tummy was just rolling around, dragging on the floor. That said, dragging on the floor. This is so weird, thought the big bad wolf. What rumbles and tumbles inside my poor bones? I ate 6 kids, but they feel like 6 stones. I've got a mighty thirst about me. And the big bad wolf waddled towards the well. He was so thirsty he could drink a whole bucketful. He leant over the edge of the well and went down the big bad wolf straight to the bottom of the well, and that was the end of the big bad wolf. Straight away, the 7 little kids and Mummy Margot this time did their very odd, weird ceremonial dance.
Hey-oh, 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 the big bad wolf is dead, the big bad wolf is dead, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi-yo, the big bad wolf is dead.
And then they all went home and tidied up the house and ate Felicity's flapjacks, which I have to say were absolutely delicious. And quite soon, there was another knock at the door, and this time it was the 7 dwarfs who had come round to play some games. But they didn't play any games that day. The 7 little kids acted out the whole of the story which had just happened to them. The story which I've just told to you. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that rather odd rendition of the 7 little kids. There'll be more stories tomorrow. More stories tomorrow, one story tomorrow, more stories from tomorrow, I should have said. But if you've enjoyed this story and would like some more stories with a bit of music on there, the marvellous music of Martin Thornton, do visit our website. And in the meantime, please stay safe, please stay healthy, please look after each other. TTFN.
Bye!